Since the creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, the world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking the unbanked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. A world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Disclaimer. Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
Hi, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the Token Metrics Sunday live stream. I'm your host, Bill Noble, and I'm joined by Senior Investment Analyst, Forrest Przybysz. Forrest, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, two administrative notes before we begin. First of all, we're sorry for the technical problems. We're coming on a little late, but we definitely appreciate you staying tuned with us. Also, we appreciate the idea that you want to interact with us via the Menti codes. Unfortunately, today, we won't have a Menti code, but we're going to try to give you the best show possible. So with that in mind, let's kick into your market update. Crypto, the inflation solution. Also a plus, we're going to add in some tactical ideas to give you some navigation going forward. Now, a graph that fits what you already know, inflation. CRB, for old school guys like me, is how inflation was measured back in the day. It's still around. It's an index of like commodities. So like grains, coffee, metals, etc. Copper. CRB has been on a rope going from 100 to 220 in a very short period of time, moving like an altcoin. CRB is up against resistance, but commodities continue to break out. Now, just to give you some details, coffee exploded recently. This looks like an altcoin going from 90 to 210. Okay, for people out there who like breakfast, orange juice, along with your coffee, going from 107 to 142. These are just plain Jane commodity markets that are mooning like altcoins. Now, if you mix this with the idea that there are troubles overseas in China with stocks like Tencent and Baidu getting absolutely hammered because of new government regulations, these commodity moves may be telling you that the Fed may have to keep the pedal to the metal longer than anyone expects. The Delta variant may also play into that. So while commodities mooning is not good for me, you, and our common listener and everyone else who has to go to the grocery store, it may be a phenomenal signal for crypto, particularly if the Fed has to keep the pedal to the metal. Now, speaking of the metal, let's talk about an idea that comes from Fidelity's elite macro research unit that I pulled off Twitter. They're taking the inflation approach or the inflation idea and going back to gold in the 70s. Yes, in the 70s. Okay, I was in grade school. I wasn't there for this trade, but it's still relevant. Now, back then, gold and the gold trade was how people really hedged against inflation, and it was a huge catalyst for gold to go higher throughout the decade. So Fidelity is plotting gold in the gold line throughout the 70s from 71 to 79. And the black line, okay, is Bitcoin since the bottom near 2018. So if you can follow the graph, or if you can't, I'll tell you about it, right? It's showing that Bitcoin probably has much, much more upside, right, throughout now and maybe early 2022 before there's a corrective period, okay, before the real big up move starts 2024, 2025. Now, that's in line with some Gann research they've done, and I know you don't care about 2025 today, but the way this graph is plotted shows you that there's probably more upside in crypto in the short term, say over the next 6 months. So if there's a dip, which we'll get into in a minute, stay tuned. If there's a dip, that might be an opportunity to get on board for a much bigger trade. Now, let's talk Bitcoin tactical. 43K is resistance any way you draw it, right? This is a graph that shows you May 20th. Bitcoin was about 43K right before it sort of went dead in that range. Bitcoin's made a double bottom. It's done well, but it's coming off as of the recording of this episode. Bitcoin could either correct after hitting this 43K zone, okay, or it could go sideways when ETH and other digital assets do a big catch-up trade, okay? Now, speaking of ETH and the catch-up trade, first of all, happy birthday to Ethereum. 6 years old as of July 31st. For its 6th birthday, the universe has given Ethereum a series of 1s and 2s. What's that? Well, that's its start-stop formation that I'm always talking about on Token Metrics TV and with you, our friends on the live stream. Now, what that represents is like a coiling process. And in Elliott wave terms, once that next trend takes off, It's very impulsive, which means bulls get a lot of gratification without taking a lot of heat on longs. The catch is to catch that last two wave, right? So if you missed ETH, you might get to buy it at 2,500. If there's a dip, I would estimate that that would be good support if there's a dip. Frankly, folks, I wouldn't be shocked if there was no dip because Ethereum is just too cheap versus Bitcoin and it's too undervalued. Now, that said, if Bitcoin comes off, Ethereum might come off. And you might get it at 2,500. Below that, Christmas might be at 2,358 if there was a big washout. So on one hand, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. On the other hand, I'm trying to give you the navigation you need in case there's a dip. But our overall theme is that Ethereum is going to go much, much higher. Now, looking at some high market cap digital assets, Chainlink is breaking through 23. Chainlink, again, huge market cap, has the ability to drive total crypto market cap along with Ethereum and other big coins. Chainlink was actually breaking out last week after a 4-week liquidity event where Chainlink shockingly was pushed down to 15, where no doubt much larger players took anything that any smaller players had to sell and put it away for a long, long time. So remember, Chainlink was a huge leader in the market back in August 2020 when small digital assets in the lending and trading space took off. Polkadot, everyone loved it at 48. Everyone hated it at 12. This is my running joke about Polkadot. Polkadot is Web3, and I have absolutely no idea why everyone gave up on it. At the top, it was 61% above its Gann trend line. That's sort of my homemade gravy version of what Forrest does on a more scientific basis. At the bottom, Polkadot was, drumroll, 61% below my Gann trend line. Now, Polkadot, as you can see on your screen, is having a big green day, is taking out 1969, right? And that would be an indication that the layer one big cap coins could start breaking out one by one. I don't have a Cardano chart, but Cardano fans are out there. We're glad you're with us. Okay, Cardano could be next. This could move total crypto market cap a lot, especially if there's one more dip in ETH before it takes off. Okay, the more they wind up that spring in this sort of alternative coin universe, the higher it can go. Now, again, total crypto market cap. Right now, about 1.6 trillion. Okay, my work shows it can head towards 1.8 trillion and is eventually going to make a new high. So I don't know that you have to FOMO in, okay? But to quote Mike Novogratz, if you're not long, you're short, which is a nice way of saying, you know, you should have some crypto, but don't FOMO in with all of it because there may be one last dip to get in. So save some chips, but the overall outlook is constructive. The only question remains, how big is the next dip and where can you grab it? Okay, now, speaking of smaller cap digital assets, we've been talking about perp for a while. A lot of positive catalysts here. Binance having trouble with European regulators on derivatives. Decentralized derivatives, as you have heard me go on and on and on and on, could be a huge underreported theme in crypto. Perp traded in a wild range, somewhat annoying, but never really crashed the way other protocols did in May and June. Perp is above 13.8. I own Perp as a disclaimer. Fibonacci extension levels above the market are 25 and 39. One final note, Perp has done that start, stop thing. So we're looking for that, big 3-wave gratification. If 13.8 holds, and I hope it does during any Bitcoin correction, then this could be another sign that, perp is strong enough to try to go higher. Now, a coin we've covered that, was very disappointing for a while, Alpha, is starting to show signs of life. There's a teacup and handle formation. Okay. And Alpha has resistance around 71 cents. And if it breaks out, it could be 86 cents as the next resistance. Overall, the teacup and handle formation could result in digital assets like Alpha doing much, much better short term. So, in sum, Nano, the future of money. Notice I've been trying to end all the live streams and Token Metrics TV episode, always trying to remind viewers about the future of money. July 28th was 264 days from the November 2020 low in Nano. 264 days is a Gann number. We've been experimenting with multiples of 6. Nano's got a little bit of a bid to it around 4-ish, and Gann trendline analysis shows upside potentially up to 12 if it gets going. I know you like alternative digital assets. I know we're very constructive on Ethereum. Everyone seems to focus on Bitcoin, rightly so. However, don't forget about the nanos and don't forget about the dashes. There are positive catalysts here, and going back to orange juice and coffee, people need a solution and institutions know it. So the same people that took to crypto that everyone was puking in May and June may also be preparing for the future of money trade, and Nano could be a part of that. So stay with us, stay with Token Metrics. TokenMetrics.com and Token Metrics TV will keep you tuned in, and we appreciate you being with us today. And that's the market update. All right. Now from there, with that done, I'm going to move over to my colleague, Forrest, who is going to take it away with his outstanding work. Forrest, are you out there?
Yep. Thanks, Bill. I'll take it from here. All right. We're going to be talking about the Ethereum repricing that I strongly believe that is going to happen, and something that we've been talking about for a while. You guys know at Token Metrics, we're huge on Ethereum, but over the last couple of months, some announcements and catalysts are coming up or have been announced for Ethereum that are coming up in the future that could make Ethereum's price go through the roof. Apologies, before we get into it, apologies for the live stream being a little bit laggy. We do have a smooth recording that we are going to upload after this. My guess is Ian probably took our internet bill money, didn't pay the internet bill, and instead invested it in Ethereum at 1,700. So hopefully we'll have some faster internet for you guys in the future. Jokes aside, thanks for bearing with us. Why am I looking at a chart of Bitcoin if I said I was going to talk about Ethereum? Well, because the changes that are happening to Ethereum's monetary supply are going to be affecting the outgoing supply of Ethereum. And Bitcoin is really the best cryptocurrency that we have in terms of comparing or studying what happens when you reduce the incoming supply of a cryptocurrency. Now, those two catalyst events for Ethereum that I'm talking about are EIP 1559, which I believe is now scheduled for August 5th. Somebody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. It was initially scheduled for August 4th, but I believe it's now August 5th. Ethereum 2.0 is the other catalyst. And Ethereum 2.0 is arguably an even bigger catalyst. But when you combine the two, you get something that is going to take Ethereum from around 4% annual inflation to probably negative inflation. All right, so let's get into it first. Before we take a look at Ethereum, let's look at Bitcoin. And these dashed lines here, these vertical dashed lines, just represent the timing of the Bitcoin halvings, right? November of 2012, July of 2016, and most recently, May of 2020, roughly every 4 years. Roughly every 4 years, Bitcoin's supply, incoming supply, not existing supply, incoming supply is reduced by 50%, meaning the miners' rewards are cut in half, right? Now, we know, and the market knows, that this decrease in supply is coming beforehand, right? We can predict it. We know it happens roughly every 4 years. It's designed that way. Bitcoin's design, it's written in the Bitcoin code base. Despite that, we still see this supply decrease get priced in after the actual halving, right? We got a little bit in 2016, we got a little bit of a run up in anticipation of the halving, and it dumped off shortly after. But the main run up, the main bull market occurs after the halving, despite the fact that the entire market knows that this is coming, right? So I'm thinking that more than likely, we know, the entire market knows that Ethereum, these two catalyst events are going to decrease the supply, yet we probably won't see it get priced in any meaningful way until after they go into effect. Well, EIP 1559 is right around the corner, but Ethereum 2.0, we still have a lot of time to accumulate Ethereum. Ethereum 2.0 is changing Ethereum from proof of stake or proof of work to proof of stake. And part of that change is going to be a decrease in Ethereum's issuance rate by roughly 80 to 90%, right? So first, let's take a look at Bitcoin's halvings. At the Bitcoin halving in 2012, Bitcoin was worth about $3. It then subsequently peaked at $1,163 before evening out at the next halving 4 years later at $663. In the 2016 halving, it went from $663 to $19,700, bringing the entire altcoin market with it, right? Brought the cryptocurrencies that have completely different use cases than Bitcoin also experienced a bull market catalyzed by Ethereum or by Bitcoin's halving. We then evened out at about just under $10,000 for our most recent halving in May of 2020. And Bitcoin so far this bull market has already peaked at $64,895, just under 65K. Now, if you're like me, you think that there's a significant chance that this isn't actually the market peak for this market cycle. We could actually go higher, right? At least that's what I think. Is it guaranteed? No, of course not. Nothing's guaranteed in crypto. So what we can see here is that with a 50% decrease in Bitcoin's inflation every 4 years, we see these massive run-ups, these massive bull markets, essentially what I would refer to as a repricing of the asset, a repricing from $3 to roughly $600 with a big peak along the way, a repricing of $600 to $700 all the way up to $10,000 with, of course, a market peak and some valleys along the way, and another over 6x repricing so far this market cycle. That's with a 50% decrease in the inflation rate of Bitcoin. What's happening with Ethereum is over a one-time, right, between two catalyst events, essentially a one-time, if you combine the two, or decrease in inflation by over 100%, right? So Ethereum 2.0, which is set to go live somewhere in Q4 of this year, or Q1 of next year, 2021, which is denoted by these two dashed lines. This is the time frame that we would expect Ethereum 2.0 to go into effect, the move from proof of work to proof of stake. That event alone, excluding EIP 1559 that's about to go live in about a week or sometime this week, we would expect a move from roughly 4% inflation to about 0.5 or 0.4% annual inflation. That is a 90% decrease, right? Where am I getting those numbers from? Well, we've got the table here in the ethhub.io documentation. With 10 million Ethereum staked, we would see a max annual network issuance of 0.54%. Well, how much do we have staked right now? If we go to the ETH2 launchpad, we see 6.6 million. So we have somewhere so far between 3 and 10 million staked. So that means the expected annual inflation would be somewhere between 0.3 and 0.54%. Let's call it 0.4. If this staking contract continues to grow up to 10 million, it would be roughly 0.54, right? Regardless, it is a massive, massive decrease in the annual inflation. Then you layer in EIP 1559 going live in about a week, where a portion of every single transaction gets burned. I believe it's somewhere between 15 and 30%, and it depends on network activity. With the more transactions that happen, the more Ethereum that gets burned. So we could also see, in my opinion, a very violent repricing. Why? Because you set up a situation for almost like a flywheel effect, right? Where this catalyst can happen where the more network activity we get on the Ethereum network, the more transactions that are being processed on the Ethereum network, the more gets burned, the faster the supply decreases, right? So you not only would you have increased activity on Ethereum, but that increased activity is followed by a large decrease or a large increase in the amount of Ethereum that gets burned and a large decrease in the supply of Ethereum. So you have two major events, right? This trend line here, this simple linear trend line on a logarithmic view, is the trend line that Ethereum's roughly been on since December of 2019, right before the pandemic crash. We've spent time above this trend line. We've spent time below this trend line. We've spent more time above it. And right now we're kind of on it, but we've recently taken a dip below it. I've seen a lot of work, a lot of respectable work, both from Token Metrics and from other respectable sources, that would put the peak of Ethereum this market cycle somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000. And that's without taking into account EIP 1559 and Ethereum 2.0, right? Just based off of the bull market, the growth of the crypto market, we could see a $6,000 to $8,000 Ethereum. And that's denoted by these two horizontal bars here, somewhere in the $6,000 to $8,000 range, which is kind of along this trend line and something that we could reasonably see on this trend line if Ethereum can maintain this trend until November, December, January. Makes sense. But then when you take in a 90% decrease, take into account a 90% decrease in the inflation and further decrease from EIP 1559, and you become deflationary, Ethereum becomes a deflationary asset, we could see something far more violent. I think we could see a repricing that is far more violent than anything we've seen before with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's this event, this run up from $663 to $19,700 was catalyzed by a 50% decrease in inflation. We're talking about an over 100% decrease in inflation rate, right? Going from inflationary to deflationary. We've never seen anything like this before in crypto with any large cap cryptocurrencies. And I believe it is going to lead to a huge repricing of Ethereum, probably after Ethereum 2.0, sometime in 2022, right? We know these things in advance, and as smart investors, we can accumulate Ethereum beforehand, but we likely won't see this pricing go into effect, this repricing go into effect until after. Another point that I want to drive home is that the move from proof of stake to proof of work is also going to decrease the sell pressure of Ethereum in the market. Why? Proof of work requires mining, right? We've got Ethereum miners that are paying high electricity bills to mine Ethereum. And in order to cover those electricity bills, they have to sell some of the Ethereum that they earn. When we move to proof of stake with Ethereum 2.0, that goes away. So not only are we decreasing the inflation rate and going deflationary, we're removing the proof of work mechanism that is requiring these miners to sell a bunch of Ethereum to cover their electricity costs. You could almost separate this into three catalysts because Ethereum 2.0 is kind of a double whammy, if you will. Right. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I just want you guys to know that this analysis supports the idea that Ethereum could see a massive repricing. I'm not going to throw any price targets out there, right? I don't know. The answer is I don't know how high Ethereum is going to go. I don't know if it's going to be, I'm not even going to throw out price targets. I just know that I strongly believe Ethereum is going to reprice to the upside and probably do so rather violently and very likely bring a lot of smart contract networks and Ethereum dApp solutions along with it. I'm going to kick it back over to Bill. Thanks for tuning in for my segment.
All right, Forrest, thanks a lot. Friends, on the subject of Ethereum's future, we're offering a 20% discount on tokenmetrics.com. And we also have a special birthday present for you for Ethereum's 6th birthday. So the coupon code for the discount is ETH6. And if you go to tokenmetrics.com, we have a broad array, okay, of all the types of analysis we provide for free for you, for our Token Metrics subscribers, for our Token Metrics live stream viewers. So as my boss likes to say, smash that like button, subscribe, stay with us for alerts, okay? And go to tokenmetrics.com and get your Ethereum birthday present. We have quantamentals, meaning our quantitative guys have figured out a way to mix Ethereum fundamentals to come up with a very intriguing Ethereum price target. You're not going to want to miss that. We've also got TA, okay, an investment report. So our elite analytics group led by Forrest has got an Ethereum review as if it were a small digital asset. So it's almost like you get to read what the value proposition of Ethereum has been the whole time. It's not just the second biggest cryptocurrency. So please check that out. Also, you know, if you like what Forrest had to say, and I don't see how you couldn't, there's a lot of smart young talent at Token Metrics. And you want to know what those guys are doing and what they're thinking and what's behind the scenes and how do we come up with these market views. If you go to tokenmetrics.com/podcast, you can see that we've got a new form of media, a new show called The Engine Room, where we pop the hood on Token Metrics and give you everything that you would ever want to know about how we do what we do so we can help you be successful in crypto. So, as a reminder, if you haven't been active and you think you've missed it, I don't think that's correct. I think the market's going to give you a dip to get in. Remember what Forrest told you about the bright future for crypto, Ethereum, etc. Okay? Some FUD always comes out if there's a correction. There's always some doubt, always some worry. Don't worry. Stay with us. Crypto forever. Friends, we appreciate you joining us and staying with us. We know we had technical difficulties today. We know you wanted to interact with us, and we want to interact with you. But keep coming back to the Token Metrics live stream and head to tokenmetrics.com where you can get more of us on Token Metrics TV. That's right. No censorship, no problem. All on the web, our own TV network. So if you want Token Metrics and the people and ideas you see, you can get them every day and every week. All right. So with that said, friends, we appreciate you joining us. This is Bill Noble signing off for Token Metrics. This is the Sunday live stream. Have a good night.
Life-changing money to a point where you can buy your mom and dad a brand new house, right? You can pay for college loans. You can invest in your future, not have to work again, pursue your dreams, your passion, not have to have a job, work that 9-to-5 grind, right? Break the system, hack the system. This is what this show is all about.
They said relax but never retire. Feeling detached, never inspired. They told me relax but I can't retire. I'm feeling detached, never inspired. Like I would live on but never rely. You know the system, AM till 5. They try to say our jobs and give on. They living a lie. Now here's the mission, die or decide. You would die. The corporate life is so redundant when your freedom isn't free. It comes to being someone, just believe that you can be. And now how can I have hunger when they tell me when to eat? How can I lead others when they tell me who to meet? Then they tell me when to come and then they tell me when to leave. They say how much they give and then forget how much I need. It's the precious to succeed with the lessons of the greed. I question who to be and saw this message is in me. I gotta know.
Life-changing money.
I wanna work for myself, I gotta work for myself, I gotta go.
You can invest in your future,
Raise
not have to work
spirits to the
again.
moon, put nerves on the shelf, I gotta know.
Pursue your dreams, your
I
passion.
wanna stay free or want the safety. I gotta go.
Break the system, hack the system.
Although they paid me,
This is what the
they
show's
never
all
made
about.
me. I wanna relax, forever retire. I wanna detach, I'm feeling inspired. They told me relax, but I can't retire. I gotta detach, gotta decide. They got me thinking I would live on, but never rely. You know the system, AM till 5. They try to say a job's a give on, they living a lie. Now here's the mission, die or decide. You or die now. Hey, hey, I will never be a wage slave. I gotta stay made. Hey, 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 I used to see this in the 8th grade. Wasn't a day late. Hey, 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 I found the love that I was seeking, life that I'm leading. Hey, 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 now I can do this every weekend, cause I'm a free man. I was in Tokyo, riding the job wheel, the rodeo, dancing with the devil for payment. I couldn't do-si-do, but I was driven. The mission gave me an open road. Made a decision to whip him like it's a motor show. 6-figure slave, I was paid, wasn't well though. Heard of crypto underground, it became my railroad. Started making earnest money, it's for whom the bell tolls. Went from wishing for sales closed to sales. Now I can relax, forever retire. Now I'm detached, forever inspired. Now I can relax, forever retire. I had to detach, had to decide. And now I'm thinking I can live on and not just survive. You know this system, AM till 5. They try to say a job's a give on, they living a lie. I made a mission, die or decide. Do or die now, crypto retirement, yeah, that's where my mind went. Started thinking higher, now they can't hire my time spent. No, not retire like 65 when your job ends. More like an island, and if I'm buy it, I buy it. Free travel, dealership sweet dabble. I reign like Leeds Castle, you reign like Seattle. We went from sheep cattle to eating beef and mackerel at feasts. No lassos, just beliefs me in a saddle. You gotta know.
Like life-changing, like
You wanna work for yourself, you gotta work for yourself, you gotta go.
not have to work again.
Raise spirits to the moon, putting nerves on the shelf, you gotta know.
Pursue your dreams, your
You
passion.
wanna stay free or want the safety, you gotta go.
This is what the show is all about.
Although they paid you, they never made you. No, we can relax, forever retire. Now we detach, forever inspired. Now we can relax, forever retire. We had to detach, had to decide. And now we know that we can live on and not just survive. We left the system, AM till 5. They try to say a job's a give on, they live in a lie. We made a mission, die or decide. Do or die now.
I'm here to put you guys on and share all the different resources and tips I come across in my journey to making $1 million and making $1 billion, right? I'm trying to share this with the world for free. I'm not here to sell you some $2,000 course, ebook, webinar, whatever, right? I'm here to put you guys on the game for free, open source, right? The same model as blockchain, Bitcoin, or these cryptocurrencies. I'm here to share everything with you guys.
Tokenmetrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.